All right, let's go to now the man that owns 2 racetracks, co-owner of Lakeside Speedway, as well as the owner of I-35 Speedway up in Winston, friend of the RacinBoys, Mike Johnson. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Are you up there working at the racetrack today?
Yep. Out of Lakeside working, and I've got another crew up at I-35 working. We've been working the tracks all week.
Mike, how difficult is that now that you've been there, done it for a year, operating 2 tracks? How difficult has that been for you?
Well, it keeps you going 7 days a week.
Yeah.
All year long. What people don't realize, you work just as hard in the off season as you do, when we're racing, meeting with sponsors, touring series. It just goes on, and and working on the facilities inside and stuff. So it's 12 months a year, 7 days a week is what I keep going.
There has to be, and maybe you can tell me, there surely is some benefits by operating 2 tracks when buying, the condiments and what have you for concession and everything. Where are the advantages to operating 2 tracks?
Well, one big advantage I think is going to be this year, both tracks are under the same sanctioning body.
Mm-hmm.
And we can offer the guys more. At the end of the year out of Lakeside, we're having the USRA Nationals, first time that's ever been done. So we're having a local national event for USRA at one of our tracks. At the end of the year, and I'll get back to this in a little while, but at the end of the year up at I-35, we're having a national open wheel event.
Mm-hmm.
One of the perks to our drivers, let's say you race at Lakeside on Friday night. If you come to I-35 on Saturday night, if you're the top scoring car, you don't have to finish first. The
Mm-hmm.
top scoring car in that division gets $75. The second top scoring car gets $50, and the third $25. You might be 10th that night, but if you're the highest scoring car that shows up at the track, we're giving bonuses just for pulling in the gate. And that works in reverse. If you're Saturday night at I-35, come down to Lakeside, same deal.
Yeah. I think me and you have talked about it in the past. Maybe you can touch on it again. Dual point fund money. I know that when I raced at Lakeside and I-70, they had such a thing for an incentive for guys that run both racetracks. Has there ever been put any thought to that?
Yeah, we put some thought to it. That's the reason we came up with this bonus thing,
right.
To try to give some back. And you know me, whatever we can do for our drivers, we do. And in this business, it's a step at a time on things. But we're looking forward to the season. Both racetracks are jam-packed full of specials. And you're involved in one of them, May 8th,
right.
with the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Cars coming. And we've got the Lucas Oil late models are teaming up with USMTS again this year. And we've got several USMTS shows this year, and it's going to be an exciting season.
Mike, I don't think I've had a chance to talk to you since you made the decision to go to USRA up at I-35 Speedway, and you've been a loyal supporter of IMCA racing up there for many years. That track has been a mainstay in the IMCA ranks. That had to be a really, really tough decision, knowing that you had great supporters up there. Take us through that decision process of changing from IMCA to USRA, and how tough was that?
Oh, it was probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make, owning racetracks, because we had been, the whole time, I'd never been anything except IMCA. And but with Lakeside down here being USRA, and us being the only IMCA track in Missouri and nobody to work with, we had to make a business decision, and that's what we made.
Yeah.
I know some IMCA diehards were not happy with that, but we've had a lot of interest and a lot of new drivers sign up that are going to race both tracks. And obviously, if I didn't think it was going to be the best for the drivers and for our tracks, I wouldn't have done it. But we believe going down this road is the best for everybody.
Yeah. Now, I know you run Grand Nationals. How does that work? I believe that you don't have, every class doesn't have to be IMCA sanctioned. Take us through that and how that works.
Well, no, every class doesn't have to be IMCA sanctioned, and the Grand Nationals have never been sanctioned except, way back in the early 2000s when they were NASCAR out here at Lakeside. So you can pick and choose what classes with USRA or IMCA. You can run as many or as few as you want. That's up to the tracks. We decided to go full-blown USRA at both tracks, other than the Grand Nationals, which they don't have that division.
Yeah. Mike, I got to ask you, a lot of people have been really working us over on the show every Saturday morning on the chat room. They're wanting to know when you're going to announce the payout for Lakeside Speedway and the A-Mods. You know, these guys are always constantly worried about the money. Can you give anybody out there an update on the payout and how that's going to break down this year? Is it going to be the same as last year?
Yeah, payout's the same, and it should be posted on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be up on the websites, and nothing's changed on that. What I did change at I-35, I didn't cut the purse. If you bring me 15 or more cars in the modified division, I've raised the purse. A lot of tracks, if they have 14 cars or less, they'll cut the purse. We didn't do that. We're going to pay the same purse for 14 or less. If you give me 15 cars or more, we are raising the purse. I think it's $700 to win up there, but that is also on the website on the payouts.
Okay, so it is on the website for the people. Maybe they just haven't been able to locate it on the website. Where would that be located? Do you know, or they just need to surf around? It's on there somewhere.
Yeah, check around. It's on there. I know Kyle was talking to Austin Kruger the other day, and he has things updated. So if they hit the right tabs, that'll take them to the payouts.
Okay, cool.
Lakeside Speedway I-35 owner Mike Johnson is joining us right now. This has been about as brutal winter as any of us can remember. The frost about as deep into the ground as anyone can remember. What have been the challenges after this brutal winter of getting these racetracks back into shape right now?
Oh, it's just hours and hours of running the equipment, you know, trying to pound the tracks and get the moisture out. You open it up with a sheep's foot to try to get the moisture out, and you're blading back over with the grader, and you just keep mixing the dirt. Actually, we've got the track right now. If we were open today, we would be able to race tonight at Lakeside. So we've got both tracks. Like I say, we've been working on them all week, and we're working on them again today. But Lakeside is far enough along that if we had a race tonight, we would be racing.
Mike, I know the start of the year, a lot of people were kind of whining a little bit about the surface out there, but obviously that came around and you had some great racing. We're looking at video right now as we're speaking to you of Lakeside last year. You rallied back. You had a good racing surface last year. Talk about the difficulties of the start of last year and where you ended up by the end of the year.
Well, when we actually closed on the track was March 12th, and we opened April 12th. We had 30 days to try to get everything in gear. And if you remember, last year at the start of the year, it was cool. We didn't have any good drying days. And actually in May, we got snowed out one race. You know, and it's, you know, until you work a track and get used to it, you just don't know what it wants. These tracks kind of tell you on the dirt what they want. We hit the ground running, and the farther we got into it, the better we got at it. And so, of course, as a promoter, and you guys know, we always want the tracks as smooth as possible. But the weather dictates so much what we have. I don't know what to say other than that. Other than we work very, very hard, and we put in lots and lots of hours at both these tracks to give our racers the best service we can possibly give. Believe me, I want these tracks as smooth as possible. I've got my friends out there racing, and I've got my sons out there racing. Right. So it's very important to me to have these tracks just as smooth as possible.
Well, if you were to point, now that you've had a year under your belt, if you were to look back at last year, what was the most unforeseen, most challenging thing about taking over Lakeside and running it? Obviously, you had some financial things that you had to do. You had to take care of the lighting that was out there. There was a lot of capital improvements on the property. But if you were to point your finger at the number one thing that was the most unforeseen thing that you were going to have to do at Lakeside after taking it over, what would it be?
Well, the lights going out were probably the biggest thing. That was something, obviously, with it all being underground, you had absolutely no idea. You guys came out and filmed and saw the amount of work.
Unbelievable.
And the burnt boxes that went back in to fix that. Things like that really get you because you get blindsided by it. Obviously, I wish we would have had more time to work on the track all winter last year. We just didn't. And this year, like Kirk was saying, we had such a terrible winter compared to what we've had the last 4 or 5 years. That held us up. But right now, everything's moving forward good. We've had some good days here to work the track. And like I say, if we had a race tonight, we would be racing here right now.
What's your big message to the race fans that have come out to Lakeside Speedway for so many years? Of course, before you took the track over, it was closed down for a half a year because of the flood. There's been a lot of challenges out there. For race fans that have been long-time supporters of Lakeside Speedway, and for that matter, I-35 Speedway, what's your big message to the fan as we enter into the 2014 season?
Oh, the big message is this is going to be an exciting year, and they don't want to miss it at either track. You've got, Gene Claxton's running both tracks. Buzzcaster, we've got a lot of big names that are running both tracks because of us going USRA at both tracks. Mm-hmm. We are jam-packed full of specials this year. Up north, we have 4 open-wheel specials at I-35. The 360s and 410 non-wings are coming up there. At Lakeside in September, we're going to have a motorcycle race on Saturday, which I think it was done out here in the past, but not with these people, and that's something new we're going to try. So, and doing the deal with Scott, that's something new out here this year. And Todd and I, like I say, have got a lot of shows at the tracks, so there's going to be jam-packed, wall-to-wall excitement at I-35 and Lakeside Speedway all year long.
I think you're going to see a lot of drivers that you haven't seen race up there in the past run up there this year. That's what I'm looking forward to. Your name brand guys, Kirk and I have always said about IMCA that we felt that there's not enough stars that have ran in IMCA, and that could be argued either way. I'm sure that you can make a good argument with that because you've had IMCA up there for years. But the fact is that our guys that run out at Lakeside don't run up there because their cars are USMTS, USRA legal, and it's just something that doesn't fit into their wheelhouse. But now that they do, don't you expect guys from time to time, the Carricks and the name brand guys, to come up there and run with you a little bit more?
Yeah, we expect to get, and we've already had some name brand guys sign up. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. And some things you guys are going to see. We've been remodeling upstairs at Lakeside. The VIP concession is all remodeled and new carpet down. And like I said, we work on these facilities 12 months a year. Mm-hmm. It never ends. And we think and you guys have known me long enough now, that I think my drivers and fans deserve to come to the best facilities that we can possibly have, period. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be second best. I want our facilities to be the best of anybody. And I think our fans and racers deserve that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, hey, Mike, before we let you go, let's talk a little bit about your schedule. April 11th, which is just right around the corner of the USMTS modifieds are going to be running there. That's a one-day show, Friday, April 11th. That kicks off the season. That's your second week of action because you open April 4th on your weekly show. Then the very next week, USMTS.
Actually, we open March 28th.
Well, that is correct. That's right.
March 28th is our opener.
I'm sorry. Your practice is on the 23rd. Your first night's 28th. Your second week is April 4th, and then USMTS.
So a week from Sunday, you'll have cars on the track out there. That's quick.
Yeah. Next Saturday, we practice at I-35, and next Sunday, Lakeside. Mm-hmm. Both tracks, 2 to 6.
All right. And then you mentioned it, and I want to throw it in there. Cup weekend at Kansas Speedway. The first night race at Kansas Speedway is May 10th. That's a Saturday night. A lot of people are going to be in from out of town, and we are going to be running the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour. That race is brought to you by McCarthy Auto Group. They came on board with us for that race. So McCarthy Auto Group brings the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour. We'll be running the USRA B mods as well with that show. And that is a Thursday night show. That's a midweek show.
Yeah, and you and I have talked, and we think that's going to be big. We did that Tuesday night show last year with the late models and USMTS, and that was packed. And I expect this to be a big turnout as well.
We can't say it, but the people that run at the Sprint Cup level that love sprint car racing, I would say that we'll probably have a few people over there from the big track coming over to watch that race, so the fans can maybe get an autograph or two, hopefully, that night. That, again, is Thursday, May 8th. McCarthy Auto Group presents the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour. The Midwest Outlaw Vintage Racers are going to make it there on May 30th. I love those guys, man. I love the throwback look of those cars.
Yeah, that's always fun. And, of course, guys our age love them and stuff, and I think even the kids love them. But it gives our fans a different look on things, and they're fun to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Then the granddaddy of all sprint car racing, and as much as I'm a Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour supporter and broadcaster, everybody knows when it comes to sprint car racing, the World of Outlaws are coming to Lakeside Speedway. Now, that is a non-Friday event, one of the few nights. Obviously, ASCS Thursday night, but Saturday, June 7th, the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Lakeside. That's a big show as well.
Oh, this place was packed last year out here. I'd never seen anything like it or been involved in anything like it, and these guys are turning 14-second laps out here. It's amazing how they fly around this place and don't touch each other. That's quite a show.
Let me just say this, though, just me personally, and it might come off as a little bit of a homer. The best sprint car race is going to be the Lucas Oil race in my eyes. You know me, I'm a little bit of a homer, but I think most people appreciate good 360 sprint car racing as well. Let's touch on some of the other big events. Lucas Oil Late Model Series with the USMTS Modifieds. That's always a huge event, July 15th.
Yeah, last year, boy, you talk about just knocking it out of the park. We weren't quite sure what would happen on a Tuesday night, whether people would come. And, boy, they sure supported this place, and great racing. And that's what makes it fun, being part of something spectacular like that when you have the huge crowds and everything. And I think that's what the fans want to be part of, and that's what they're going to be part of this year.
No doubt.
The end of the year, you got this big event. Historically, it's been both late models and modifieds. I see here on your schedule, USRA Nationals at Lakeside Speedway. No late models involved. We don't see the MLRA on the calendar out at Lakeside. Why not?
No, this is going to be a USRA National show. We're not trying to compete with Boone, but if we can get something going like that, this is about our local guys, and we're going to draw cars from all over the country that are already talking about that year-end show. And for our local guys, I-35 and Lakeside, what a great opportunity to have a national event right in your backyard.
Yeah.
These racetracks are only 70 miles apart. You don't have to go out of state. We're bringing a national event home to our racers.
So does this kind of replace the old Jayhawk Modified Classic? McCarthy Auto Group used to sponsor that big event. I don't even see that on the calendar. What's the future of Jayhawk?
That wasn't on the calendar last year either, and I'm not sure what they did with that.
Right.
We're doing our own thing on stuff, and I really can't comment on the Jayhawk because I was never involved with it.
Right. Yeah. So the only late model show that you're going to have this year is the Lucas Oil Late Models with the USMTS Modifieds on July 15th, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, Mike. Man, that is a loaded up schedule. We didn't mention the Carrick Memorial, September 12th. That's going to be there again. USMTS Modifieds return to Lakeside August 22nd as well. Go to lakesidespeedway.net. You can find out all the information. I know that you got a concert night with Outlaw Jim and the Whiskey Benders. That's a special night. Now, the band plays after the races that night, right?
Yeah, after the races, and we have a lot of new sponsors coming on board this year too. And like I say, check out both tracks, I-35speedway.net and lakesidespeedway.net. They can get all information on there because at I-35 this year we've got a lot of open wheel events, and we're trying to mix things up there too. So you have a lot of exciting things. We've got Worth Harley Davidson as a sponsor this year, Classic Parts America, of course Tompkins, McCarthy, a huge sponsor of both tracks, Casey's General Stores this year. So it's going to be an exciting year, and the fans and the drivers are going to love it.
All right, Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just to follow up on the MLRA. No chance of having any kind of an MLRA race there. Why no MLRA?
we haven't talked to them.
Right.
Yeah, well, I see.
Okay. Fair enough.
They
right.
They haven't approached you about a date. I'd be very surprised if they haven't approached you about a date.
Well, they worked out that deal with Todd,
I
and
see.
that's their show.
I got you.
So, and we're jam-packed full. We just haven't got around to talking, I guess, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Fair enough. Right. It looks like it's going to be a good time out at Lakeside Speedway as well as I-35. And to be honest with you, Mike, you will see us up at I-35 more in 2014 because you're USRA. We love the USRA format, and it should be a lot of exciting drivers and races up there. Looking forward to a kind of a new look at I-35 in 2014. Thanks so much, bud. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Mike Johnson, co-owner of Lakeside Speedway, as well as the owner of I-35 Speedway.